Right, good evening. We are back again on Virtual Pool 4 and we've got a second live streamed match in this year's 10-ball Virtual World Championships, and it's going to be between Mr9ball and Semipro, and we're about a minute away from it. What we'll do is we'll have a quick look. We had a result earlier this afternoon, the match that we streamed, and that was between Real Poland Power Stub against Miasma. Stub ran out 14-1, and the match that we're waiting on is this one here between Mr9ball and Semipro. There's another scheduled for 6 AM tomorrow morning my time. I won't be there. That's Marcellus and Vinces. No other matches scheduled at this time. So we are ready to go. It's 10-ball, called shot, it's alternate break, and the room should be up any second. We should be about ready to go. Semipro is definitely here. The room is now up. Mr9ball is sitting down the bottom there in away mode, and we'll get right in the room ready for the two players to hopefully arrive. We are streaming live on YouTube and also on Twitch as well as Facebook. Good evening, WizKid. Welcome back. So we are almost off and running. Two players about to lag off for the break. Well, you don't want to be listening to this commentary, Mr9ball, while you're playing. Not a good idea. Probably better watching the match after it's completed. That's my advice. Anyway, Semipro won the lag, race to 14, and he is to break off. Quick reminder to anybody who might watch on Facebook. Facebook has a restriction in broadcasting quality. It only broadcasts at 720. If you want full HD, it'll be on YouTube or Twitch. So the one ball has gone down. Semipro has a wide open table, and if he goes far enough, he might have that 3 into the middle. Let's have a quick look. Yes, he does. We'll double check the doodle. It should be working because I've left my XSplit Gamecaster running all afternoon, so there shouldn't be any problem there. Now, if he'd missed that kissing the 10-ball there, he'd have been okay on the 5. He's left it now short, so it's a nasty cutback. Not really 100% sure where the cue ball's going to end up here. It's in danger of running into obstacles. And for that reason, Semipro's tried to get it safe, although he's left it fairly short. Although the cue ball's right in the middle of that top rail, there is a chance here for Mr9ball. He can pot the 5 if he can get it. The cue ball is going to go around behind the 6, off the 2 rails, and out into the middle of the table somewhere. And he's played that well. That is a confident shot. And now he's going to need another good one to drag in this 6 ball and try and hold the cue ball for the 7. Well, he's tried to play it dead weight, and it just dragged its feet. and went in. Well, this is definitely going to have to be dead weight because I think he's dead straight. He doesn't want to be trying to be too ambitious with the cue ball here. Well, you know, he's got an angle. Now, this shot in the 8 ball, he has to go through with it. He's probably going to end up leaving a longer 9. And the reason I'm saying that is because he doesn't want to be on the inside of the 9 ball towards that right rail. And I think he's got a good angle here. He has to be careful with this shot because the in-off into that middle pocket may well be on if he's playing that little draw for the 10 ball. Oh, he's well away from it. He's okay. Now that is a message to Semipro, because Semipro, although he got the cue ball close to that top rail, he left the... oh dear, well, that's a disaster. That is a disaster. Everything was looking good. The 10 ball didn't look that difficult to me, but Mr9ball has blown it and hung it over the pocket, and that's one that has got away. I had pretty much given that rack to Mr9ball there. Well, welcome, Slim. And Mr9ball really did twitch in that one. That's a bad one to start your match with. All looking good with that good opening pot, and failing in the last ball. Well, he needs to get that out his head straight away. And now he's got the kick, but he hasn't got to a rail, so it's ball in hand for Semipro. And once again, look at this table. Well, I can't see where the problem is here, because if you look at the 7 ball in that top rail, as long as Semipro can get that far, he's got no problem with the 8, and then dropping onto the 9 down here in the bottom rail. The 10 ball is back up the other end of the table. Well, that's gone wrong. And now the cue ball's going to be running with this cut into the middle. 4 ball will go past the 10 as far as I think. Yeah, it does. Another thing I mentioned earlier on with the miasma match, but it's probably more relevant in this match, especially for, well, for both players. But if ever there was an example of where you just need to take your time and get yourself set, it was that shot on the 10 ball there by Mr9ball. You've got a minute shot clock, 1 minute, plus you've got a 1 minute extension. You do everything to take your time, get yourself set, and pot the ball. And that was a sore one to take in the first rack, and it'll be even more so if Semipro can get this job done. But he's gone way too far on the 6. Now he's either going to make his mind up here straight away and play a safety, or go for the bank. If he banks past the 9 ball to that middle diamond, he'll be there or thereabouts, but he has to call the ball in the pocket. And he's played the pot instead, and that was a good shot. Thought he was lining up a bank there, but played the straightforward, or the more straightforward pot. No problem now. Like I said earlier on, where the 8 ball was, it's now off the rail, and he's a bit straight on it, but I think he can roll through. Oh, well, maybe it's a wee bit of the twitchy nerves to start the match. And Mr9ball gets a reprieve. And all of a sudden, these corner pockets look as if they've shrunk. Well, little stun. And that should put Mr9ball at ease. Now, here's the one that Miasma had earlier on this afternoon. And played the rookie shot of the day by just rolling the 10 in and rolling in. That's the sort of shot you play in a 10 ball. You stun it in, that way you're not going to do anything silly, and you're not going to just follow it straight into the pocket. And that was Miasma's chance in the very first rack this afternoon against Stubb, and he blew it. So we're now all square, one rack all. Remember, and that's something I never even read on the tournament information, but it is alternate break. So that can play a big part in this tournament, and more especially the fact that it's all down to how you do the break and how lucky you get, and vice versa, how unlucky you get in the break. Now, Mr9ball, as far as I can see, didn't call that bank. Now, that's not up to me to tell him. That's up to any other guys to tell him, but the likes of Semipro, I mean, if both players agree that that was a non-obvious shot, then they have to get that set. Did he call a safety? Ah, right, I'm blind and I should be paying attention. Well, I missed it. I can't confess to anything there because I wasn't looking at the top of the HUD. I was looking at the shot he had, and I'm not sure. But according to WizKid in the chat, he said it was a called safety, and if that's a called safety, then I'm fine with that, and the game's fine with that. That's a good shot in the 3, and this will need to be a good one because he's running down towards that 6 ball and 10 ball. If he just goes plain ball straight forward, he can't avoid, I don't think he can avoid hitting him. The other problem is where the 5 ball is, so he's digging down to try and draw around it. Well, that's a missed call, because it's fluked into the middle pocket. Now, hang on a minute here. Let's make sure that, yes, he's got it. And when that missed call was made there by Mr9ball, just to clarify that, obviously the cue ball's behind the 7 ball, and Semipro doesn't have a shot in the 5. So the game gives you the choice of let your opponent play from where the ball is. And Semipro is going to get his reward from that choice, because although Mr9ball's got the kick, the 5 ball's now wide open and the table's wide open. The problem is going to be that 9 ball. That is nasty where it's sitting. Looks all too easy to go down the rail, but believe me, if you're playing that 9 ball at any kind of angle like that, other than something like, even like that, is still, you've got to hit it sweet to get that to run along the rail and go in. So that 9 ball is going to play a part in this rack, as far as I'm concerned. It is an ugly position. I think that's on the rail. Well, it's not. That's actually much better looking when you look at it from that angle and see it close. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Well, that needs to keep going. I think that's not bad. It's not bad. He has to really baby this 8 ball in to stay close towards that 9. He's just got to get this in gentle and give it every chance to go in and stop the cue ball running off that railing out into the middle of the table. Or he has to go full-blooded and give it power to make sure the cue ball goes across and comes back. Either or, you have to make your mind up. You see, that's the thing he couldn't avoid, is actually running off that rail and going into the table. And this is where it's tough. It's tough now because he's got to get back for that 10 ball. And this is something you don't want to be playing. So he didn't risk doing anything major. So now he has a straight choice. The thin cut, if he plays plain ball, he needs to watch the scratch. Well, he's going for it. If he puts any English on this, he'll be more than likely to miss the shot. And the English would be to try and avoid any scratch. If he plays it plain ball and it's got to be thin, well, he's well away from it. So it's now 2-1 to Semipro. Both players have made their errors so far. One ball goes in, bottom right hand corner. And I think there's no shot here. Let's have a look. Well, I'd be playing that to a little bend round the 9. Give it every chance to get the potting angle on the 2. It's not that difficult. Well, that's now knocked some balls close together, but the 7 ball isn't a problem going into that corner. The problem's going to be the 6 ball. And the other thing about that 7 and 8 ball being there is that's a good place to hide. Again, we'll see what happens in this match, but earlier on today there's been loads of kick shots played today and nobody called a ball in a pocket. Now Mr9ball is going down the don't bang at a ball and make things any better than they are. So what he's decided to do is to lock up the 7 and 8 and give Semipro ball in hand and make him work to win this rack. So obviously Mr9ball's switched on from that point of view, and that's good to see. You have to use the head, assess the situation to decide what's the best option. The 10 ball and 6 ball aren't in a good position, so for Semipro to win this rack, he's doing all the work. However, the other problem and the other side of the coin is that Semipro can do most of the work and then stitch Mr9ball up good and proper if he gets the chance. Now, that I mean, the problem now is avoiding collisions here to try and get to the 5 ball. I think he's okay if he just goes forward, but he's going to have to get some sort of angle to try and get to the 6, and that's the best choice of shot because he can cut the 5 in and he can either go directly to the 6 and 10 or try and go off the rail, but there's a danger of him just hitting the 7 and 8. He'll improve their position, but he won't do anything to the 6, or he'd need a bit of luck. And he's going to just hit the 7 and 8. You see, that was the problem with that. He would have been better going direct to the 6 off that 5 ball because he had the angle to do it. You had to force the 5 in and stun across to the 6 and 10 to improve that situation. So now Semipro, I'm sure he called a pocket there, did he not? I think he did, or did he just... Okay, right, so that was difficult to jump. So now it's ball in hand for Mr9ball, and needs to be careful here. This looks so simple, but he just needs to, he doesn't want to just go anywhere near the 10 ball. Very easy just to hook yourself, getting a bit fidgety. And I think he's taking his eye off the ball again there, thinking about the stun to make sure he's on the 7 and forgot about the 6. Now, is that too far to jump? I think it's way too far to jump. So once again, it's a kick shot, I think, and Semipro hasn't called a pocket. To me, that's a fatal error by anybody playing 10 ball, in my opinion. You have to, if you're playing a kick shot, just call a pocket just in case. You know, here's a chance for Mr9ball to put Semipro in trouble. But once again, he should be calling the safety. It just saves you calling the miscall. He can drop this, stun this cue ball. Well, he's going all out for it. I'll give him that. He had a good chance of a good safety again, but he's grabbed the bull by the horns. Now he has to back himself here. He has to back himself and get these run out. Once you've made that decision, you've got to follow through. Now, I presume anybody that's excuse me, anybody that's watching on Twitch and YouTube or Facebook, I'm assuming the stream's looking okay because I've got it on my second monitor, and the YouTube stream looks perfectly good, all running smooth, and that's going to bounce. That's perfect. So this 10 ball will get Mr9ball all square. 2 racks all. And the break goes back to Semipro for rack number 5. Six bolting into the top right. I think, what was that, the 7? Oh no, it was a 2. 2's gone in. No shot in the 1. Just tuck it behind the 10 and get the cue ball down the bottom of the table here by the 5 and the 9 ball. That's a good shot because that 8 ball prevents Mr9ball getting to the edge of the 1. And I think though he can hit it direct. I mean, you can play the sort of negative shot and just roll up to the 1 because you might not really have any other option. Well, he's looking to make an angle here to try and get a bank. The 1 ball's off the rail. I think it's got a good odds of going in. Yep, well played. No, it's going to be getting from that 4 back to the 5. Well, he's going to need a fair bit of power here. He can't go forward, he has to come back. Now if it misses the 7, this is beautiful. Oh, that's the only unfortunate thing is he's straight. He can try and pinch something with a wee bit of spin here, but I think he's looking just to kill the cue ball and leave the 7 long. And I don't even think he's going to have a great chance of that because he's right on the point of the pocket. Well, now he's got no shot. Just gone too far. Or has he? Oh, no, he can get that 7 past the 9. I didn't think the 7 would go past that. Well, this is the one. It's tough. Into a semi-blind pocket. Yeah. Not easy. So a reprieve for Semi-Pro, this rack. Now this is a tough one. Deep in the pocket and trying to get that cue ball out somewhere near the 8 ball. And I think he's in no man's land. This is tough. Can he drag that in and try and hold it? Or is he going to avoid the collision with the 10? Yeah, lots of drag. Just to spin the pace out of the cue ball and change the direction of it as well. That's perfect. So it's Semi-Pro goes back into the lead, and at the moment it's going effectively with the break. It's back to Mr9ball. And no joy, but no damage done. Semi-Pro has chosen the push out. Now I know many a player would have a cut at that one because it's not close enough to the rail to prevent a lot of players having a cut at it. But at the same time, Mr9ball's got a good chance to use the 6 and the 10 and maybe even that 5 for cover. It hasn't got behind the 5, it's behind the 10, but I think there's enough room to get the jump shot in. Left middle pocket called. But look at these balls are perfect. There isn't a problem again. It's just about how the cue ball ends up, and this is not nice. Cue ball wants to go up to that top right hand corner of the table off this 2 ball. This is tough. You've got to be really ambitious to go for this 2 ball and try and get that cue ball out of that corner, up there on the right hand side and back out into the table for the 3. There's nothing blocking the 3. It's all about the cue ball, provided he gets the pot. Yeah, it's asking an awful lot to get that shot right. But I think Semi-Pro has got away with it. Safety called. Needs to keep going, get it tight to the rail. That's a good shot. And that's a fairly good response, I would suggest. A very good shot. And Mr9ball, well, he's in trouble. The main reason I'm saying that is because of the lay of the balls. And he's got to get... I thought he was looking for 2 rails there. He had to go for 2 rails. So he's missed a hit. And we've now got Semi-Pro with ball in hand. And it's going to be up and down here because the 2 balls up where it is, the 3 balls down here, 4 balls up in the top left, 5 balls up there, 6 balls back down. So there's a bit of up and down here, so it's not a gimme. It's about controlling the pace of the ball, the cue ball. And he has to get somewhere down by the middle pocket on the right hand side. And the further it goes, the better. He can give himself that little bit of angle. I don't think he's gone far enough. And he's going to have to maybe stun this to... He doesn't want to run through to the 7. That's fine. No problem with the 4 and 5. I think that's gone a bit straight. Let's see. Yep. It's just a bit straight. And he doesn't want to try and pinch too much here to stun that cue ball out. You don't want to get greedy with these pockets. And he's playing this with a bit of bottom and right, left English to punch the cue ball out to the right. He needs to get the weight right, and he's overhit it. And now he's well out of line. Now, if he's lining this up for the cut, he'll need an awful lot of inside English. And it was far too risky to even attempt that, so he's tried to keep it safe. Well, one thing's for certain here. Mr9ball's got the cut in the 6. He's going to be hitting the 7. He can't avoid it. And if he gets the pot, he has to just rely on luck here. And he's hit it too thin. And now, well, it looks very likely that this rack is going to Semi-Pro. 7 ball hanging over the top left. Well, this is a little tester. Bit more angle on it than we'd really like here. And that's... Well, he's got both things wrong there, but he's overhit it to get to the 10 ball, unless he was playing it to play it into the middle. But Mr9ball still not out of the woods here. 9 ball hanging over the pocket. This is the toughest shot I think you'll play to try and judge any control in this cue ball. And he's tried to use... I think he hit that wrong, because I think he tried to use the left cushion and then hit that ball to get it to come right around the angles and out, possibly to try and get it over here somewhere. I don't think he got it right, but he's left a tough one. And I don't like to spend too much time looking at these shots. I tend to have one look, pick the point and hit it, rather than spending too much time studying it, looking for other problems. And Mr9ball gets it in and manages to pinch that rack. And again, it's all about just getting that wee bit out of shape. Semi-Pro there left himself far too much to do. And you just cannot keep pulling miracle shots out in any game. It doesn't matter how good you are, you will not keep getting them. But it's always down to that little bit of out of alignment, only maybe a couple of inches, and that can ruin your shot. So from looking like going 2 racks down there. Mr9ball's back on par. The push out was called. The Semi-Pro's got a chance to get distance here. Use those balls for cover. And wouldn't you know, well, I think he's got the 8 ball for cover. Well, not really, because Mr9ball can see enough of the 1. Well, this is going to be another jump stick job. We can see that the 2 ball goes. This cue ball, though, after the jump, is going to have to not hit anything but a rail to get back out into the table, so that Semipro can have a shot on the 2. And he's played that well. That's as well as he could have played it. And this shot is going to possibly brush the 6 ball, but he's going to run through that gap between the 6 and the 7, which is taking him further away and a higher angle away from the actual 3 ball. So, what to do? Now let's have a look here at the top end. Well, that 4 ball's not going in there, but it's easy enough to play a billiard from the 4 onto the 5 if you can get good on it. But look at the shot he's got in the 3. Oh, he's hoping for a gap. Hoping for the gap. And that is unlucky. Now, I don't think he can manufacture much here. Now, I think it might be worth risking the jump here. If he can get the jump over that 7. Because if he gets the jump, he can just aim for the edge of the 4 and billiard the 5 in. That shot is definitely on. Because he's not jumping directly over the 7 ball, he's jumping over the edge of this. The 7's actually a good guide for the billiard. Off the 4, yep. And it goes. Needs a bit of luck again though. And that's not bad. Anywhere up to the middle pocket. And that's perfect. Nice little angle on the 6. Just drop off the 6 onto the 7. And this is now the difficult shot. He's not looking at the pocket. It's a blind pocket. You pick your potting angle. And you actually concentrate more on the cue ball just to keep good position for that 8. This is a little bit delicate, this 9 ball. I think he's okay. If he's just going to gently roll it in, he's not going to scratch. He's going to go to the rail beyond the point. Yeah, plenty of room. And used all of the pocket. But it still went in. So Semipro back into the lead. And once again, the break goes back to Mr9ball. I don't know whether in the first couple of racks anybody won against the head. I don't know whether anybody can remember if that's happened, but so far for the rest of the racks, nobody's won one against the break. And well, if anything, that puts a bit more pressure on Mr9ball again, because he's trailing, and it was his break this time. Well, the safety. Mr9ball behind the 8 ball. Plenty of room to jump over it though. And he's competent enough to call the one into the bottom corner. Needs to watch the scratch again here. The scratch is on into this bottom right. And luckily he's missed it so far, it went nowhere near the pocket. And he's got it safe. He's going to be in trouble again here though. He's going to be locked against that 7. And Semipro will be trying to get this as tight as possible, but he's left it short. And that's not a difficult kick. And the thing is, if that 5 ball wasn't there, you'd be calling the one into that corner and playing the kick off this rail. Well, it's a thin one, but the angle is good for Semipro to maybe help this cue ball round behind the 2 and out into the middle of the table. It's a tight margin though. Well, he's trying to drop onto the side rail and he's just overhit it slightly. That wasn't easy to judge at the angle, to judge the pace to hold that 2 ball. Now, I presume he tried to hold it for the left-hand rail into that right corner, or if he was trying to get it out into the middle of the table, he's just underhit it. It's difficult to judge what he played there. Well, he went all out for the pot. And he's escaped again. Left Mr9ball nothing. Well, my advice is don't put that 2 ball anywhere near the 10. No, it's not gone far enough. I've got the hiccups again. No, there's nothing easy here. Nothing easy at all. Once again, short on the 3, trying to hide behind the 8 and 9 here. And I don't think he's quite got there, but I think he's okay. Let's see what that looks like from here. Well, that is not nice. Not nice because that pocket's in the way of the kick, I think. The point, I think he can't get to that 3. Yeah, he couldn't get the 3 full. And he's left the 3 on. No problem with the 8 and 9. 4 ball hanging over the corner. The only slight issue here now is getting from the 4 to the 5. Now, if he just stuns the 4 and plays the simple shot, he's going to end up somewhere here and leave a long 5. And that's where you don't want to be trying to do too much with the cue ball. You're guaranteed a shot in the 5 if you play the simple one. And again, he's overhit it. Or underhit it. and maybe he was trying to get this side of the 5 to play it in the middle and hold for the 6. So he's now out of line. The 5 does cut past the 7. Not easy. That's a good shot, but he's now no shot in the 6. Now this is where you've got to reel yourself in and make a big decision. The difference between a 2-rack lead and being all square again here. This rack would be against the break if Semipro can see it through. And he's running for cover. Let's see what we've got here. And that, well, I think there's nothing wrong with the fact that it's safe. It's easy to hit. Now, how's that 9-ball looking for a... No, it's too much angle. I was looking to see if it was lined up as a bank into this middle to play a really aggressive kick shot. Question is whether he plays this dead weight or he just gives it a boom. Well, it's open, the shot is on, and this time Semipro needs to go across to the left hand side of the table. Don't think he can hold it at that angle. Yeah, he's dragged it in and he's definitely held it. I didn't think he could hold it. Controlled the pace of that very well. Now, is he too straight? I don't think it really matters because it's... He needs to watch the draw into the middle pocket. He's fine there. No problem, just roll it in. Don't need to do anything spectacular. He's got to be on the 10. So this will be definitely a rack against the break, which means Semipro is now going to be breaking off in rack number 9, and he's going to have a 5-3 lead. And this is the first time there's been a gap between the two players. A couple of balls goes in, well, 3 balls have gone in. The 3 and the 7 have gone, as has the 8. And I think he's sitting plumb behind the 1. The awkward shots here are getting to the 4 and getting good from the 4 down to the 5, because if he makes... He's got 2 decisions to make. Well, he's going for the combo. The combo 2-10 cut into the corner. And in it goes. So that's a quick rack. And it's now a 3-rack gap. And Mr9ball has really been stifled out of the game so far in these last few racks, and that's really why Semipro is now gone 3 in front. It's not down to errors from Mr9ball, it's down to some hard work from Semipro that's got him this success so far. Now how does Mr9ball respond? Can he run into that 3-ball? Yes, he can. Well, he can run in. Ideally, he wants to run into the 10 and hopefully leave himself a shot in the 3. And it's not running for him. So, what does he do? Call the bank. It looks more like a double bank to me. That's the problem with these shots. You don't get the first one right. It's always more than likely going to go in that pocket. Now, hopefully for his sake, he doesn't get it right and it finishes short in the rail. That way he's not leaving any shot for Semipro. Now you see there, it always looked like a double bank to me. So that will be a missed call. And now Semipro is not going to put him back in. He's going to go for the cut on the 4. And Semipro is finding his weight a shot now, which doesn't bode well for Mr9ball. Just didn't get that luck of the break there when he was breaking those 2 balls. It might have been different had he finished on the 5. I think it was the 5 anyway. Well, cue ball's going away from the 10. This is where you just take your medicine, pot the 9-ball and just leave yourself at the distance on the 10. So the gap is now going to 4. The break is going to go back to Mr9ball. And how important is this break going to be? Now 7 racks to 3. No, it's not. It's back to Semipro. I'm losing count here. Well, that's another one against the break. The 10-ball goes in. And that will be respotted. And Semipro still stays at the table, and he has a shot. Well, the shot there was to cut the 1, but the problem with that is the cue ball was running away, and the corner pocket's blocked by the 8-ball for the 2, so decided to try and get it safe. He hasn't got the safety, but Mr9ball's left with a dilemma. How does he get good on the 2? Well, once again he's trying to manoeuvre the cue ball, and at pace on these tables and these pocket settings, you've got to be spot on. As soon as you start putting that little bit of English on the cue ball, you're squirting the cue ball offline. And anything offline to these pockets at pace, they're just going to hang up. Well, Semipro would like to have that shot again. Did you call a safety there? I think he did, didn't he? Aye, that's why he's put back in. Yeah, called the safety and potted the 1 and snookered Mr9ball in the 2. So Mr9ball didn't like the lay of the table, so gave it back to Semipro, and Mr9ball has got his chance, and it is not easy. But all those balls in the middle of the table, they're good cover if he gets out of line. Well, that's one way. Again, as I said earlier, Semipro is not as familiar with 10 ball. He's only been playing it in this tournament. He doesn't play 10 ball, and it's familiarising yourself with what happens with the called safety. He thought he was playing a perfectly good safety shot there, Snooker and Mr9ball. But having not left Mr9ball a shot, he's automatically offered the choice of playing from where he is or letting his opponent go back in and play from where it was. So Mr9ball has now got his problem to deal with, and that is the 7 ball. And he has the angle to draw past the 9 or off the side rail in behind the 7 for the 7 into the right middle. And I think he's played that pretty well. That was the shot, and he has to now. It's so important at this stage in the match for Mr9ball to back himself again here and get this done. He's no problem getting on the 8. He doesn't need to worry about the 8 at all. And he'll take that any day of the week. That just means he's got one less ball to pot. So this has been a good little clearance here for Mr9ball. It was really important from the position he was in to get this job done here and get himself a rack back into the game. So he's still trailing by 3, and it's a rack against the break for Mr9ball. And again, a ball has gone in, and we've got a right clutter in that top right hand corner. What went in? The 4. Oh dear, look at the 2 ball. I mean, what the hell do you do here? He's got a shot in the 1. He's got absolutely no shot at all. I'd be just calling the push out and getting rid of the 2. Well, this is ambitious. He's called the 2. He's going to bank the 1 up and down the table. He's going to have to hit this 10 ball plumb in the face with this 1 ball for that 2 to have any chance of going in. Yeah, that was a tall order. But he'll take that. Well, he has done one thing. He's opened up the corner pocket. And another tough shot for Semipro. Now, can Mr9ball leave himself a shot in the 2? He can if he just rolls this in gentle and finds a gap between the 6 and the 7. He doesn't need to, again, try and do too much here. Just, well, he's done more than he needed to. And now it's just baby the 2 ball in, drop onto the 3. A long 5 ball into the corner pocket. The 6 will go past the 10 into the middle. Now, hopefully for his sake, he's looked at that and he knows he doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball. He just needs to get to this rail here for this 5 ball. And that's going to force him now to play a little draw and just stun this 5 ball in if he's going to leave the 6 into that right middle. He could roll through though and play it into the corner, so he's got a choice and he's got to make himself certain of what he's doing. Well, he's gone too far, so now he's maybe going to have to play it long into the corner. Let's see if he can roll through for the 7 into the no, he can't. It's not a nice shot to be playing. He'll be running. He's going to avoid the 10, I think. Yeah. It just needs to slow up. He doesn't want too much angle. Again, he's got too much angle. Just meaning he's having to worry about the cue ball. But if he just gently cuts it in, let's have a look. I think if he gently cuts that in, he can drop down to the... He'll be reasonably close to the 8, I think. Well, he's gone the other side, which is even better. Well, that's tough. So Mr9ball is trying his damnedest here to get this rack on the board. Well, off the railing out for the 10 into the left middle would be my plan. Or even out, and if you fall short, you've got a long 10 ball, but you're always giving yourself a shot. Could even stun it and go into the right middle. Every option as long as you're happy with the shot. So, a little bit of a resurgence here from Mr9ball. And gets it back within 2. But the break goes back to Semipro. Still leading by 7 racks to 5. Match has been on for an hour. That match this afternoon didn't last an hour. I think it was about 50 odd minutes or something. And once again, we've got an ugly position here. The 3 ball is locked up. It's going nowhere. 7 ball is blocking it to the corner, although the 7 ball is a combo. Even though it's heading to the jaw, it's still going to go in. But how do you get to the 3 ball to be able to play a shot? That was a good shot. Now, anywhere over here, he has to get back far enough. Even then, that's still very difficult, I think, to get into that 3 ball enough to make the combo. You have to maybe spin it with left spin to try and sort of cut it and make sure he misses the 10 ball. Well, he's tried all sorts there. And he might have got away with it. Misses the 2. And Semipro trying to run that cue ball in behind the bunch here, I think. Well, he didn't have a comfortable angle to do that, but he's done the next best thing. Just kept it too tight. And an obvious thing here is that we've got a 3-7 combo still into that corner. It's now pretty much dead set. And I think Semipro will take the bait this time. It's a tight cut. He looks as if he's lining up the bank to me. And in fact, he's not even bothering with that. He's playing the safety. And that is a good safety, because I don't think he's jumping that. That's how close you need to get your cue ball to the object ball if you're trying to play a snooker in this game. If you don't get it really tight, there's a lot of guys who'll dig out the jump stick and pop over it. And Mr9ball again, trying to kick the 2 but not calling a pocket. And now he's given Semipro ball in hand. Now let's look at the 4. Well, the 4 goes. The problem is when Semipro pots the 2, that isn't an issue. The problem is when he plays this combo, he's probably going to cut it slightly to make sure the 7 goes in, because it's just going to the jaw slightly. And the problem with doing that is he's not 100% certain exactly where this 3-ball might end up. He's dead waiting it. And he's right on it, so, well, that simplifies matters. Now, can he pot it and still just hold for the 4? Yes, he can. Now he needs to find the gap between the 6 and 9 and not hit anything. Well, this is now tough. It's got to be a little bit of inside English, I think, and then off the 2 rails and across for that 6-ball into the right hand corner. Oh, that's maybe going out of shape here. Let's have a look. Well, he's got the room to jump, which he's going to have to do. And in goes the 6. Well, this is the make or break shot. I mean, this has got to travel a big distance, the cue ball. Lots of power needed, lots of spin to help it around. Plenty of top on it. And as long as he doesn't scratch, well, now could that be the lucky break? Well, the bad luck for Semipro and the lucky break for Mr9ball here, because this is going to get him back to within 1 when it was oh so likely he was going to be trailing by 3 again. Now, I think anybody watching might not be able to call this match yet. I think there's 1 or 2 things to happen yet in this match. So Semipro still has the lead, but only by 1. Mr9ball breaks off in rack number 14. And what did we lose there? The 14 ball. How am I saying the 14 ball when we've only got 10 balls on the table? The 9 ball. Why did I say the 14? Oh, can he see the 2? Yes, he can. Well, he should be slowing right up, assessing the situation, looking at the table. He knows he has to get fairly straight on this 3 if he wants to hug the rail and leave a shot in the 4. If he wants to play it that way. Well, he's got too much angle to do that, I think. And now he's making it difficult. We'll look at where the 4 is. And the cue balls is either going to go back the way or going to come across. So he's gone back the way. Oh, that's beautiful if it holds up. Oh, that is an excellent shot. It's not perfect, but he's got a pot. And he's dropping behind a 5 as straight as he can. Would be a bit more comfortable. That's pretty good. Not an issue here. We're running through and leaving the 6 into the top corner pocket and then dropping onto that 7. This 7 ball can so easily go wrong though if he doesn't get good on it. He doesn't want to be anywhere near the 8 and the 10 ball when he plays this shot. Let's have a look. Well, he can avoid that. He can get that cue ball back the way from the 7. Off that top rail and out. That'll do. And now he can go up the table off the 8 and play the 10 into the same pocket. So now we've got a tied ball game. And that's been a good response from Mr9ball. has to be said, he could have so easily let his head go down, trailing by, what, 3 racks. And he's had a wee bit of a helping hand, but he's made the most of it. The break goes back to Semipro. Match all square, 7 racks all. Race to 14, so we're only halfway home. And the 2-ball has gone. He's got a shot in the 1. Well, any other day of the week, I'd be giving this rack to Semipro. They're all there for the taking. How many people have we got on Twitch and how many people have we got on YouTube? Because I'm not looking at any figures. We must have at least 2 on YouTube and 2 on Twitch. We've got, including the players and myself, we've got 5, well, we've got 8, so we've effectively got 5 viewers in the room. I don't think he'll get any in Twitch and YouTube. I think they've all gone. I think they've all gone into the room. So Semipro is looking good here to retake the lead. Now, I thought we'd had a connection problem there. We seem to have recovered. Well, this is just slightly the wrong side of the 8, but it shouldn't be a problem getting out into the table. And now there is a problem. How many is there in Twitch? Just yourselves? Is that the 2? Whiz Kid and Bedhead. He's played that well. That was a good shot in the 9. So Semipro up for the fight, has saw his lead dwindle away, and now he's back into the lead by 8 racks to 7. Break has gone back to Mr9ball. Oh dear, scratching the break. Couple of balls have gone in as well. And 5 in Twitch, that's a surprise. And the worst news for Mr9ball is this table is looking very inviting again for Semipro. Well, I think he would admit he could have played that one better. I don't think he can avoid hitting the 10 ball. But the 10 ball has done him a favour as long as he doesn't spin in behind the 8. And he's okay. And this is now perfect. Just pot the 5, drop between the 10 and the 6. And he's got the 6 ball into the same pocket as the 5. A little brush in the 6. Doesn't matter. 11 in YouTube. No, that's... Well, we've got double figures at least. I think we had... I don't know how many there was for the Semi-Pro final with Franco. I think it was maybe about 20 odd or something. Nobody in Facebook. Again, this shot, you do absolutely nothing other than focus on the 8, with the right amount of pace, and you have to be in the 9-ball. You can't be anything else but on the 9-ball. And now the perfect angle to drop the 9 in, get the cue ball up by the usual place, anywhere up by the middle pocket. That's almost there. And now Semipro has the chance to open the gap again to 2. And in it goes, and I would suggest that this match has been a fairly reasonable standard. We haven't seen an awful lot of errors. We've seen a couple, but more importantly, we've seen the players take their chances when they're getting them, for the most part. And Semipro has the break as well. That's an even bigger advantage with a 2-rack lead. And he's got a ball in the break. The 7 is gone. Although he's got no great shot in the 1. He has a cut down the rail. Is he cutting this in? No, there's no way he's cutting it into the middle pocket. That's a good one, and that's perfect. Four ball into the left middle. Only thing he can do wrong here is hook himself behind the 9 for some reason, but I think he can go between the two of them. Oh dear. Well, there's an error. There's an error, but it's not a great position for Mr9ball. This, again, I keep saying this. Anybody tells me these aren't one of the toughest shots to judge. See, all you can do is draw it when you're dead straight like that and just hope for the best. Well, at least he can see the 4. Now, can he see enough of it to cut it? Yeah, I think that 5 ball's a good guide. I think that's a good guide for cutting that 4. He's got to get it feather thin. He's got to risk the scratch. Now, what the hell's he doing here? Why doesn't he think he can cut that? Am I just blind? I think that 4 ball is guided well by the 5, and it will cut. The only thing you have to risk is a scratch. He's playing the cross bank. I think that was way too ambitious. Well, you guys can tell me better. Tell me that 4 ball didn't cut into the middle. The big risk there was the scratch playing in your mind. When you play a thin cut like that, you're always going to run very close to that corner pocket, but the cross bank was a sort of shot of desperation in that situation. And Semipro has got the 4 ball, but he's got himself locked up on the, well, not locked up, but there is room to jump over this 6 ball. Well, I try and use the rail. I mean, how many times have I played a shot like that where I've tried to use the rail and the ball's so deep in the pocket, I've went around the rail and missed the bloody ball. I've done that loads of times, doing that. They're so difficult to judge, and even when you use the rail, it's difficult to judge the pace. And Semipro has got himself out of line, left himself the cut back in the 6. But, well, Mr9ball is going to have to play a pretty damn good shot here, dead weight to the bottom rail, or the top rail as we look, to have a shot in that 8 ball. He's probably better going on the short side of the 8, because the angle he has would allow him to do that and not try and do too much with the cue ball. Now, how's the pace? Oh, that is pretty damn good in my book. He's got a very narrow margin to get that cue ball to have a shot. He's still not home and dry here though. How would you like this shot? This is a great shot for plenty of top, pot the 9 and down for the 10. You go all out for it and don't scratch. That's the only thing you don't do with this shot. And that is played perfect. That's excellent. And that is a good steal for Mr9ball. Once again, the mistakes are being punished. And it's back to within 1. And now we are getting to the sort of business end of the match. And this is where the sphincters will start twitching. And it's all a question of who blinks first and who's getting tight. Right, good night. Thanks for watching. Well, what kind of setup we got here? Well, we've got a very good 3 ball combo, a 1-5-9 combo. And the way he's lined up right there is the shot to play, right as it is now. Oh, that's perfect. Commentator's eye there. He's going to have to dig another one out though. And they're getting ever so slightly tougher. And this one, he's got to get just to there to nudge that 3 in. If he gets this full in the face, the 3's just going to go around the jaws. Yep, he ended up getting it too thin. And how's his luck? Well, it's on into the middle. And Semipro, if he manages to get these first few balls, he's going to have the same problem as Mr9ball had in that last rack. Well, a similar problem to Mr9ball. If you look at the 5 ball, we can see it goes both ways. It's a much shorter side here, obviously. And I think that Semipro has got as similar margin of error to have a shot on that 5 ball. And the other problem is that he's going to have to get from the 3 to the 4 and then have a decent shot to get back to that 5. So this rack is by no means over. And let's see if Semipro can negotiate this problem. We've seen Mr9ball get it spot on. And that isn't going to get there. Now, has he got enough room to play the kick? He's going to have to just glance that 5 ball. Can he get it? I think he could just spin an edge on it and get it in. Oh, that's well played. Still needs another good one. But he's going to drop the bottom side of this 7 if he plays the pace right. Oh, he's overhit it. Well, Mr9ball's on his toes, ready to pounce here. Semipro's going to need a good one. Now, what does he call here? Is he going for the cut into this bottom left-hand corner? Oh, he's calling the reverse bank. Well, this is all or nothing. Oh, he's picked out a beauty, and look at the cue ball. That's excellent. So this is going to open up the gap to 2 again, and it's going to get Semipro into double figures. He's now leading 10 racks to 8. With the break as well. Seven ball goes into the left middle. Well, he can drop the 1 into the right middle and just drop through for the 2 into that top left hand corner, not do anything elaborate. I don't think, I don't recall Mr9ball. I'd need to look at the video again, but I don't recall him being in the lead in the match. I think every time so far Mr9ball's managed to scrape himself back into it. Semipro is just pulling away again, and it's happening at the right time for him. And now he's got a nice angle on the 5, but it's a tight one. Plenty of room. It's just he has to get that wee bit of pace in the cue ball just to get it punched out. Played that well. Well, he's just going to have to either go full-blooded across or gently roll the 8 in just to keep him near the 9. How does that look from his end? Well, he's going to go through the other side of the 10, either take it into the middle or into this pocket in the corner here. Yeah. So into the middle, and this is now opened up the gap to 3, and it also means that Semipro will just need 3 more. He now leads by 11 racks to 8. The break goes back to Mr9ball for rack number 20. Needing a ball, and the 4 balls get in, and he's on the 1, and he's got, I think he can't risk rolling to the rail with this shot. That's far too tight a shot to try and get, so he's got to just leave the gap between the 7 and the 5. And I think he's even struggled to get there. Yep, he's underhit that. He's left himself short. He can just try and help it round to 5 and make the cut in the 2. Yeah, that was tough. And I don't think he's got away with it either. So that was an error of judgment there by Mr9ball, and it still might cost him. It's not easy. Well, the 3 ball will go past the 10. It's got to be tight though. If this 3 ball's going to hit the rail, it has to hit the rail next to the 10 ball for this 3 ball to go in. If it hits the rail before the 10 ball, it's probably going to hit it and run into the 10 ball. Well, he's calling the billiard then. This is in danger of a double kiss here. Oh, he tried hard. And now Mr9ball has to be really careful. He doesn't want to leave any shot on this 3-ball, because Semipro would be nudging it onto that 10. There's times like this you have to just keep yourself on your toes and not leave any chance of any sort of bank shot onto that 10. Well, that's going to have to be a missed call because he didn't call the pocket. Missed it into the one he played. And I think that could be the mistake that might cost Mr9ball's chances in this match now, because we're running out of racks, and Semipro is on the final corner, and he can see the finishing line. Well, it's looking very likely it's going to be an 8-10 combo here. He could, in theory, drop down to the bottom rail and play the 8 long, but it looks more likely he's going to just hold for the combo. Well, that's got away big time. Is he going to call the combo because it's still on? Can play the stun. No, he's going for the bank. Well, you would think this has to go. It's all or nothing. And that's two very good banks we've seen so far from Semipro, so he's lining them up properly. And it's another one on the board. Semipro again has the break for rack number 21, and he's leading 12 racks to 8 in this race to 14. Well, this table is wide open, but straight away Mr9ball's just gone out of line on this 3-ball. 3-ball's going to go no problem, but he's got far too much angle now to get good control in the cue ball. Yeah, well, it's getting near winter time. We're now officially into autumn, so I'm going to make sure my face is warm during the frosty months. So easy to get out of shape. Say it time and time again and leave yourself virtually nothing on. Mr9ball calls the safety. And that 4-ball is going to have to keep rolling. And it's got there. There is an edge on the 4-ball. Now is Semipro going to put all his eggs into one basket here? I think again this looks ambitious. The cut was on, but it was really, really ambitious. And he's done the sensible thing. He's not going to get any stupid notions that I had there. And he's played a good safety. And that is... The old saying is that when you've got your opponent down, make sure you put your foot across their neck. And don't take your foot off. That's how to do it. If you've got them down, you put them down even further by playing good tight safety and leaving them not a sniff. So Mr9ball has called a pocket, and it's going to be the old heave-ho, hit and hope. Well, I don't think he heaved it and hoed it too much, which is why he's left it on. I would have gave that the old amp, the old boom bang a bang, the old capo shot, and just hope for a miracle. Because it's looking odds on here that Semipro is going to be sitting on the hill, needing just one more after this visit. A quick reminder to any of you guys sort of stateside, if you want to watch another match, there'll be a pretty good match, I would suggest. It's going to be 6 AM my time. I think it's 6 AM, which would mean it would be like, it would still be 1 AM East Coast time, and it would be like, what, 10 PM West Coast. That match that's scheduled in the bracket. Unfortunately, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to get it. I will be out my bed and long gone to work by that time. In fact, I'll be starting work at that time. So Semipro has come on strong mid-match onwards, and he's found his sea legs, and he's now within one of the second round. A reminder also, we're double elimination here, so Mr9ball is well capable of causing some problems over on that one loss side. If that's how it's going to pan out, it looks very likely now. And Mr9ball's break has come up dry, and once again, when it comes up dry, wouldn't you know, he's left a shot on. The only lifeline here at the moment for Mr9ball is that 6 ball, but having seen the bank so far from Semipro, it's looking odds on that he's going to pot this 5 ball and then leave the bank on a 6. Well, I think he's still okay. I mean, he's left himself hooked, but he's going to jump to the 4. But the problem now is that can he get enough pace in this cue ball and get it out of that corner? And that's the problem. Let's have a look. Well, he's going to try and feather this and cut it in. Well, I'm working all of this week. I'll be working tomorrow. I start at 6 AM my time, and I'm on till 2 PM, so I won't be home until about maybe 2:40, something like that. And then by the time I've had something to eat, I won't be online till about 3:30. Like I said, I posted a couple of times the other day there, if any guys want to arrange a match and they want it to be archived on YouTube rather than VP4, then I can stream them and have them recorded, but I can only do that if they're set like late afternoon my time, or at the very latest 8:30 UK time, which would be like 3:30 in the afternoon US East Coast time. But any later at night, then it's really encroaching in my bedtime. I mean, at the moment it's what, 9:40 PM almost, and already my brain's shutting down. And that was a pretty good shot there by Semipro, I think. Well, it's not full cover, and the cut is on in the 5, and you would think this could possibly be Mr9ball's chance if he can get the cut in the 5, somehow get the right pace in this to leave a 6-10 combo. Yeah. Well, he's gone safe. And it's even more important now that this 5 ball's left safe, because it's got to be a 6-10 combo. Semipro trying to get to the corner, trying to hide behind the 10 ball. Hasn't quite got there. Well, now here would be an ambitious call. Call the bank on the 5 and bank it onto the 6 and knock in the 10. That's a desperate shot there, and he's going for it. Is he trying to billiard from the 5 to the 6 to the 10, I think? I'd be probably playing the bank. I think he's trying to thin it. It's so difficult to judge the touch on that 5 ball. But that 5 will cut. It's got to be a dead weight feather on the 5 to just drop it in. Well, he didn't even play that. He played it a wee bit more power than I thought, because he was getting himself right over for the combo. So this for the match for Semipro. And he's played it. And he's come on strong in the end. And he's won the match by 14 racks to 8. And proven just that wee bit too strong for Mr9ball, and that was a pretty solid performance by Semipro, and he's going to give whoever he meets a fair bit of trouble, I would suggest. So we'll have a look at the bracket before we go and just see who he's going to meet next. We've already got VP Monster through to round 2. We've got a Sarah who's got a bye. Right, thanks for watching, chaps. Real Poland Power Stub is through to round 2, and he's going to play Senny. We've got Xavierix through to round 2. We've got Popman with a bye in round 2. And, well, there's a good match next. Well, Semipro's going to have to do things the hard way, because he's now going to be playing Snake Eyes. And that is a step up in class again, I would think. That'll be a tough match, or it should be. And, well, they've got plenty of time to arrange that match. So the next match is a match between Marcellus and Marcellus and Vinces. And that's going to be 6 AM my time, which will be 1 AM East Coast, 10 PM West Coast, and good luck to anybody that wants to watch that. It should be a good game. I won't be there. So as I said, thanks for watching, gents. Thanks for your company, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one, whenever that might be. So take care and good night.